welcome everybody. We're back for the Truman Show with Mr. Santos Bonacci. How are you, Santos?
Great, Yannick. Yourself?
Oh, good, great. Better than good, better than most, and sometimes better than that.
Wonderful, brother.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great to hear. I'm still getting myself organized. I just got up. I had a shower. My hair's wet. It's cold now, so you can see me with long sleeves.
Yeah.
It's getting cold in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah.
The southern hemisphere of the globe. I'm upside down, by the way.
That's what I was telling you. Huh?
Yeah, the dust particles don't know that, of course. They're floating around. They're so light that it's funny. Heavy things love gravity. They get stuck to the earth, like all the oceans and all the ocean liners and all the people and animals. And oh, it's just incredible. It's incredible how intelligent and discriminating this force of gravity is with its very special waves.
And you know, Santos, what you were saying about the last hangout we had, that those controllers, that they want us to wake up. We have another wonderful example with Mr. Obama speaking his last speech concerning the flat earth. I don't know if you've seen it. I saw some kind of a clip, 23 seconds, but he's using words that are very, very significant to me.
Yes.
So they want us to wake up. They want us to wake up. They don't want us to stay asleep. That's for sure. All this is, like, I'm sure you can agree with me, those controllers, they want us to wake up. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Look, there is there is a movement now, and from the top echelons of society, from the people who truly know the dark secrets that they've held from mankind about the true nature of our cosmology, are wanting it to come out so that we can wake up. And when we wake the F up, then we will be ready for self-determination. Then we will be ready for corporate government and illegitimate structures of government to be dissolved, because the underlying nature of government is still there. And I encourage people to read this book from Judge Anna von Reitz. And this book shows, it's been written so elegantly and so simply for children, showing how all the positions of true de jure government are vacant. And we need to step up and grab those positions. And so corporate illegitimate figures like Barack Obama, they are just dying to go back and do some other job rather than pretending. All they're doing, all these politicians are just pretending. It's time for them to be shut down.
It's not that we don't need some kind of, I don't think we can have just everything go freely. We need some kind of council on earth, some kind of government, but not intrusive. What we have now is an intrusive government that tries to control our mind, control every aspect of our life. Just for as an example, that's what I want to bring on, the calendar. I look at that calendar only. Also, the thing why we switch the time, like why do I forward the time? Why do I bring the time back? Like all this, why do you manipulate the time so much? And especially with the calendar, to keep us in sync with war time and stuff. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that Gregorian calendar, where it come from. And like I told you in the message, I think it's inverted to their advantage, most of it.
Oh yeah, look, the calendar is pretending to be a secular calendar, but there is no such thing. It's actually an astrological calendar. There's nothing wrong with the Gregorian calendar. Pope Gregory adjusted the Julian calendar in the year 1588, and the English resisted that calendar up until 1748. Up until 1748, they were starting the new year today on the 1st of April. Today is the 1st of April, yeah? Well, this is why the Romans were intent to make people look like fools on the 1st of April and pinned the start of the year 4 months back to January 1st. There's nothing wrong with that either. That's beautiful, because that's perihelion day. We discussed perihelion last week. January 1st through 4th of January is the day that the sun is closest to the earth. And so it is also a good day to start the year, the secular year. There's nothing wrong with calendars at all, at all, at all. People, you know, they go stupid with their ideas and theories. The Gregorian calendar is a perfect astrological calendar. I'll explain why. When you look at the ecliptic, so what happened was the age of exploration began in 1780 and 91 with Columbus. Yeah, Cristobal. Remember the word Cristobal. What does Christ and Baal have in common? Well, ask Cristobal Colon, Christopher Columbus, his true name. Cristobal Colon is his true name, rather. If there was such a figure, it's obviously, it's a Vatican corporation. It's another corporate enterprise. That's all it is. It's, I mean, they were, the Nordic people were going to the Americas, and the Chinese, and they were all going to the Americas and trading. And then all of a sudden things changed because they wanted colonial expansion. So they changed history and discovered America in 1491. And then Captain James Cook, a corporate criminal who was eaten by the Hawaiians, by the way. What a fitting end to his this disgraceful, demented life, putting Rothschild and Windsor flags, crown flags all over stolen countries. You know, what an aberration. And they ate him. The Hawaiians, I think it was, or in Tahiti, somewhere, the Cook Islands, there, somewhere there, they ate Captain Cook. How fitting that is, because what happens when you eat someone is their soul is distributed, and it's very, very hard in the afterlife for their soul to actually be recollected. And because of all the damage and harm he did to the Pacific people, he was eaten. Fitting end. Just watch what happens to all the elite controllers who resist the beautiful truth that's coming to this planet, man. Not only will they be eaten, oh my God, you're going to see poetic justice all round. Guillotines, nooses, electric chairs.
Everything.
I wonder how they're going to deal with Queen Elizabeth, you know? Poor soul.
Should be interesting.
It'll be interesting days, brother, but the days are coming. The days of reckoning.
It's coming. Humanity is waking up, and like I said, they want us to wake up. They don't want us to stay asleep, because it's been so long that they've been playing that game that they just want us to wake up.
Yeah, brother.
That's why people shouldn't have fear to speak out like we do. Like, just go out and speak your mind, and you know that's what. You know why we're not the only one doing that, and there's so much people that are kept in fear of not speaking out of what other people's gonna think of them, and that's the worst you can do. Is speak out.
Yeah, look, the age now, the spirit of the heavens, as it says in the book of Joel, the Spirit of God will be poured out upon everyone, and all their gifts will come to the fore. Some will prophesy, some will speak about syncretism, some will do radio shows and preach the truth from the rooftops. Others will have gifts of healing. You see people with great gifts of healing now, and these are natural. It's all natural. Everything is natural. They've been suppressing our gifts.
That's it. We're just taking back our power. We just let something go for so long. We let our power go as a collective consciousness. We're just taking it back. We're just taking back our power. So it's very, very natural. Very me. I do it out of the heart. Like, you know, I was looking at the word earth also today. It's an anagram for art. You know, everything comes from the art. Everything comes from the earth. You know, it's all related once you start seeing stuff like that. Anyway, I'm analyzing everything around me lately, so for sure I'm gonna see stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure, brother. What you're seeing is I had someone who, when I did that anagram, Earth and heart.
Yeah.
I had someone write to me, and they said, "Oh, it doesn't work in my language, so you know, it doesn't work." And I said to him, "Don't look at just this word. Look at other words. You have to pay attention. All words come from atum. The first word of all words is atum.
Yeah.
That's the word of all words. That's the word of God. Atum, Adam, Atum, Amun. Atum is the light, and Amun is the hidden light. So there's two kinds of light. Atum is white light, and Amun is dark light. And so, but they're both lights, and they're brothers, they're twins. And in the scriptures, there's always twins. You know, Thomas and Matthew, or Thomas and whoever. There's discrepancies there as to who the twin of Thomas is, but some say it's Jesus and his twin brother Thomas. But when you look at these words, you have to look, you have to look really, really hard. What else do you see in this word here? Well, I see hearth, and I'm going to have problems with these texters now. They're drying up.
Too much shows.
Yeah. Hearth. I see, what else happens in the heart? Well, you see a rate, a heart rate, R-A-T-E. I also see hate. Hate comes from the heart. I also see heat. Heat comes from the heart.
Yeah.
I also see the word to eat and ate, because the heart is eating emotions and discharging and emanating emotions. I also see Rhea. And Ra is her consort. Of course, Rhea is going to be in the word earth, because that's who it is. There's only two archetypes, boy and girl. Krishna and Radharani, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, Adam and Eve, Moses and Miriam, Abraham and Sarah, Abram, cerebrum, the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the cerebrum, Sarah, Abram. It's all in the body. Your body is the Holy Land. What else do I see here? Hang on a minute. Just bear with me one tick, brother.
Yeah. I like those anagram thing, because everything is in the vocabulary. Everything, there's so much clues in the vocabulary for us to, first of all, to find out our true nature, where we come from and everything. So it's very important to touch that subject for sure.
Yeah, brother, all subjects are going to be discussed here because we're syncretists. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not saying that we're Christians and limited to Christianity, you know? We're not saying we're Muslims and limited to the Quran. There's no limitation. There's no limitations. All subjects can be discussed. That's why when people say, "Oh, well, what religion are you?" And I just, if I want to be facetious, I say I'm a Hari Christian, Buddhist, Neoplatonic Hermetist.
Yeah. Or I say my religion is the same as the tree outside. That's what I posted on Facebook today. My religion is the same as the tree outside, its nature.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
All right. What about ear? Ear.
Here, yeah.
Hear. Hear with your ear. What about tear?
Tear, yeah.
Where do your tears come from? They come from the heart.
Everything comes from the heart.
Everything comes from the heart. What about the goddess? Thea. T-H-E-A. Thea. The goddess. What about breath? Just put a B in front of it.
Yeah.
Breath. You can even put death there. These are all words that are connected to the earth and the way of the earth. These are all words from the earth. These are children of the earth. These words are connected to the earth. Yeah. You have to think in every language. I do this in Italian. I do this in Portuguese. I can do this in French. I can do this in Spanish, and I have done it. In fact, I'd love to do a show in French. It's probably good.
I was gonna ask you, do you speak French?
Well, yeah. Not. It'll be down the bottom of my languages, but I'll have a go. So we can try and do some. I can mix it up with English if I get stuck, but let's give it a go. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the ecliptic. Yeah, I've done this in so many languages. In Italian, You know, you can see hundreds of my videos in Spanish that I did with Johnny Guzman from QLTV. And I've done all these syncretisms. So when people say, oh, in my language, it doesn't work, it works in English, earth and heart, and they're anagrams of each other. But I've said this, and I've always said languages are timeless.
Yeah.
English was not invented. English was not invented. They tell us that English was invented in the College of English in Rome. No, no. No, men don't invent languages. They've done one, Esperanto, but that's it. They're all organic. They're all created by demigods, not God.
Yeah.
Demigods. So Sanskrit is not the mother of all languages. It is one of the mothers. The mother of all languages is atomic. All is atum, another dry texter. Don't worry, brother. I'll get this right. I'll get this sorted. We'll have a...
Okay. I'm sure you have a bank of crayons somewhere.
Crayons. All right. Let's go to the Gregorian calendar and show how the Gregorian calendar is all right. So here's the equator.
Calendar, yeah.
Here's the Tropic of Cancer. Here's the Tropic of Capricorn. And that is the symbol of the Earth in astrology and anywhere else. That's the Earth. And so the tropical points, the equinoxes, March 21st and September 23rd, June 21st, and December 21st. That's what all calendars are pinned to. Simple. So the Romans, they basically just pinned their calendar to this. And so where we are today, that's the sign of Aries. That's the first sign. Everything starts here. Everything. Or everything starts here. Take your pick. See, 10 days after March the 21st, you have April 1st, which is today, yesterday for me, but April 1st. That's why they want you to be a fool if you celebrate here, because up until 48, the English resisted the change from here to go to here, the 1st of January. But it doesn't matter. I say to people, it doesn't matter. Think, use your mind. Either you start in Capricorn, the goat, or you start in Aries, the lamb. Because Aries is the ruler of this axis here, the equinoctial axis.
Yeah.
Let me cross my T's. I always say I'm proud of my work. I cross my T's and dot my I's. I cross-reference everything. I don't publish anything that is mistaken, except for the lie of heliocentrism, and I've corrected that now. and so Aries the lamb is the ruler of the beginning of time. The 21st of March is the start of the year. This is the true start. But since we're here now,
you know what's weird? Both of my sons are born on the 21st of March, both of them at 10 years apart. It's weird. Both of them 21st of March. It's there's so much synchronicity, Santos, in my life. It's terrible. I can name stuff like that one after the other. Both sons, 21st of March.
That's
me,
not
I'm
only
me, I'm the 1st of June. You know, it's.
Oh,
but man. I knew I was always a lion. That's why I say I gotta become born on the 1st. So yeah, it goes with me.
Well,
yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. Go ahead.
Well, your son's born on the 21st. That's not only a synchronicity, that's a syncretism as well. That's syncretism.
Yeah.
Okay,
one is
brother.
9-year-old, one is 9, the other one is 19, and both on the 21st of March. I was stunned when I was like, and just before midnight, one is just before midnight too, so it could have been easily on the 22nd, but yeah.
Well, I've got two cousins called Mary Bonacci. One is born, her birthday is the 21st of June, the other, 21st of December.
You see? Yeah.
These are my good and beautiful cousins, Mary Bonacci, whom I love very, very much. Now, growing
Yeah.
up, I had no idea of this. Then when I became an astrologer and started collecting all the birthdays of my relatives so that I could do their charts and see how they were,
Yeah.
you know, how they were astrologically, things like this started turning up. I can tell you hundreds of syncretisms like this. It'll just blow your mind.
No, but
It'll blow
it's
your
the
mind.
thing. It's we don't pay attention to those synchronicity before you're really awake to all that stuff. Me, I've never paid attention to numbers. The other day, I go pay at the cash at the drugstore 1818 for something I buy for my wife. Like 18 has been around all the time. I pay 1818. I'm like, what is that? So, but before I was never noticing those stuff, just like you. Probably until you wake up your mind, you can't notice nothing. We're trained to do not question anything and don't notice anything. That's what we're trained for. So, until you wake up your mind and you wake up and live, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. So now we have this problem of starting here 10 days after the winter solstice rather than 10 days on April Fool's Days, April 1st. In Aries, we now start our year on the 1st of January in Capricorn. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a secular calendar, but it comes from the sacred calendar. Everything is sacred. And here we have the astrological sacred calendar working beautifully with the secular calendar called the Gregorian calendar, stolen from the Mayans in the 1500s, and Pope Gregory in 1588 established this calendar and adjusted the calendar by 16 days because the Julio calendar was slipping. And so the Westerners stole, and basically they stole the technology from the Mayans and the Aztecs and the Incas to correct their calendar. And so I'm going to show you why there's nothing wrong with this calendar. It is a solar calendar, but there's nothing wrong with the sun.
I was always under the impression that there was really something wrong with that calendar. I'm glad you shed a bit of light on this, because I was always under the impression that it was better for us as humanity to go under a 28 days calendar, lunar calendar. And that's why I see always on YouTube the 28 days analytic. If you go on YouTube, they have 28 days and 30 days analytic. Why 28 days? Why they? So this always rang in my head. So maybe you can illuminate me a bit more in that subject than what I already know.
Yeah, well, look, whether you like the calendar or not, that can be a personal thing. That's fine if you don't like this construct, this type of calendar. I'm just showing you what the bigger picture is and why I like the calendar. And I see everything as perfect. But you don't have to see it like I do. I'm showing you the syncretisms of the calendar and how it works, how the secular mixes well with the sacred, and how you can also interpose the lunar calendar in here anyway. So all orbs are involved.
That's what I'm interested of. How do you put the lunar calendar into this? So maybe go ahead and just explain me all this, because I'm very, very...
Okay, so what we're doing now is we're starting our year on this axis, which is basically Capricorn is the goat, and the 10th sign. This is the first sign. This is the 10th sign. Both add up to 1. So the sheep, Aries, the goats, Capricorn. Very important to understand this. There's 2 places where you can start calendars: at the equinox of spring or at the solstice of winter. And so I would say that the sacred calendar is this, and the secular calendar, this is the sacred calendar here at Aries, and this would be the secular calendar. Because why? Well, because Capricorn has to do with earthy things. It's an earth sign. This is a fire sign. Fire, earth, and Capricorn is to do with politics, government, the king, material things.
I get what you mean totally right at start, but I want you to keep going. But what they did is they just changed the date inside the calendar to fit their stuff. So they put the new year in the middle of winter because it's dead. There's no vibration, instead of putting it at spring when it's everything is reborn, like they just inverted everything.
Yeah, but it's fine because what they should be doing is being more honest and saying to us, let's start the secular year in calendar, which is secular, because it has to do with material, government, the king, politics, and then let's start our spiritual astrological year and our religious, if you want to call it, year in Aries in the springtime in the Lamb of God, where it is most appropriate to begin the year, because the sine wave starts here at neutral here. This is where the equinox happens. This is neutral. Here's wave amplitude. Here is the most force of the wave, because this is Cancer water and this is Capricorn earth, and these are solid signs, whereas fire and air, Libra, these are not solid. These are spiritual. That's why this is the spiritual axis, Libra and Aries, the first sign. And by the way, all these signs have to do with the toroidal field. You look at Pisces over here.
I would like you to explain the signs to, if you want, as you go on, maybe explain each signs, where they come from and why, which animals is what. And...
Yeah. Okay, so let me just get a drink. So, the astrological signs always start on the 21st of each month. Not exactly. Some signs on the 20th, some on the 22nd. But let's be simple. Let's keep things simple here, okay? Let's be very simple. All of these signs, Aries starts on the 21st of March. Taurus begins on the 21st of April. May begins on the 21st. Gemini, your sign begins on the 21st of May. June the 21st starts Cancer. Whoops. Leo's the 21st of July. I know astrologers are going to cringe and they're going to say, oh no, it's the 23rd, you silly boy. What I'm doing here is keeping things simple, all to the 21st, because that's the 21st, that's the 21st, and that's the 21st. Okay? So we've got 3 of the tropical signs definitely starting on the 21st. So we're going to keep that date for this.
Perfect.
For this presentation.
Yeah.
Virgo, 21st of August. Libra, 23rd. Maybe let's put the 22nd there for Scorpio. Sagittarius, 21st of November. Capricorn, 21st of December. So what we're noticing now is that if the signs start at the 21st, but the months all begin at the 1st, so the first day of March will be the 1st of March. The first day of April is the 1st of April. So what you find is the months all begin 10 days after. So the first 10 days of Aries belong to March, from March 21st to March 31st.
Okay.
So that's a decan. That's called a decan.
Yeah.
Now a decan contains 10 days or 10 degrees. So every astrological sign begins 10 days before the start of the next month. So Aries begins on March the 21st, ends on March the 31st, and then on April 1st here, you've got 20 days of April Aries, more or less. So you've got another 2 decans. So the first decan of every astrological sign will be of 1 month, and then the last 2 decans will be of the next month, the following month.
Yeah.
Same happens in Taurus. The first 10 days of Taurus are from the 21st of April to the 30th of April. and that's 10 days of Taurus. Then the rest, the next two decans are of May. So you have April in the first 10 days, and then you have May here and May here. Same here in Gemini. The first 10 days are May, and then the next 20 days are June. Cancer, the first 10 days are June.
Yeah.
The next 20 days are July. Leo, the first decan is June. The next two decans are, July. The next two decans are August. So you got the point?
Right. Yeah.
So what you'll find is that this secular calendar is interlaced with the astrological calendar perfectly to the decan. So the decans are respected. So the first decan of every astrological sign for 10 days, for 10 degrees, the first decan is always of the first sign, and it gives that decan the flavor of that month. Then the next two decans are of the next month. So the months are out of sync by 10 days. So there is April, but here is Aries. So you can see that they intermesh by 10 days. They are retarded, or you could say retarded by 10 days, and this is deliberate.
Is it deliberate? That was my question. Was it deliberate that they did it like that?
I would say it was, because when you know the science of astrology, then you see the beauty behind this system. You see, yeah, you see the beauty behind it, and you see how they interlace. There's an interlacing of secular, astrological, and sacred. And so the sacred calendar, when you look at all the celebrations along the ecliptic, and I'm going to release a presentation soon called The Holy Days Along the Ecliptic, you will see why all of these sacred dates turn up. You'll see why the 15th of April is the birthday of Sri Rama, or why Sri Rama, the ram, the Lamb of God, is always born in the Aries, the lamb, where Jesus has his memorial on Nisan 14, where the Passover lamb is celebrated by the Jews, and where Sri Rama is born, and Easter happens, and all that lamb stuff. And then when you come down here, you've got Christmas in Capricorn, and the Jews celebrate Tishri and Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah at the start of their secular year in Libra. And why the Islamists have Ramadan, Ram, the Ram, Adam, Ramadan.
Oh,
Adam,
I never seen that one. You just I learned something now. I never seen it, that one. The Ram Adam. Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, let me show you some amazing things. Let's do some dates, and these are the dates that I'm going to show in my
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what I can do. I can do my PowerPoint presentation right now. How about that?
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
That's it.
First of all, let me show you some amazing things. Amazing things along the ecliptic. This will blow the mind of intelligent spiritualists. It'll blow their minds. With this graph, you can teach all things. All things are here on the wave. There's only wave fields. There's no particles. There's no God particle. There's God waves.
There's
waves.
no CERN. There's no CERN. The God particle in the CERN. That stupid thing they built in over 4 or 5 countries.
That's just a bunch of demented Freemasons who are stealing money like NASA steals money from the public.
Unbelievable. Did you see the size of that thing to collide particles to try to prove the God part. Oh, but I used to look up to that because I used to buy the book Science and Vie, Science et Vie, and I used to read that book Santos like crazy, man. I'm telling you. But today I look at it, I'm like, come on. I go in the store, I see the book now, I just go through. It's like, oh, I can't believe I was there. But when you're caught up in illusion, there's so much illusion in the world. It's a world of illusion. So if you get caught up in illusion, you can go deep in the rabbit hole for sure.
Smoke and mirrors. What I say to people is, if you know the tricks that the magicians are using, you know those magicians that stand on the corners and crowds gather and they're able to attract people with their magic. But when a little boy sees how the trick works and exposes it, the crowds are dispersed.
Yeah.
And so when we open this is why exposing falsehood is the way to go forward. Because when you expose that the earth is not a globe, when you expose that gravity doesn't exist with science, pure science, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
These tricksters have no more tricks left and they're done. And that's how you do it. That's how you bring them down. You don't go protesting. You don't go,
you don't go in the street to protest. I always found this was playing their game, to go in the street and protest. I think that's not the solution to go, unless we go out millions and millions of people at the same time and really do something significant. But other than that, it's just playing their games.
Yep. So, what you do. So if you can corner one of these magicians and you expose to everybody how he did the trick, well, he's got no more tricks to pull. So he's going to have to do some honest job now. He's going to have to go and dig potatoes and sweat a little bit now.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to do to expose these magicians in the churches who are teaching lies, these scientists like disgraced Tyson who are teaching buffoonery, and people are, hypnotized by these entertainers. They're not educators. They're not illuminators. They're entertainers, They're
entertainers. That's all they are. Yeah.
This is how to do it. It is the only way to do it. When people wake up that syncretism is the only way, then we'll go forward. Because this is our true science. This is what the controllers that come from the subterranean planets, the so-called aliens, have been spending a lot of time trying to destroy. They make this look like hocus pocus. Oh, it's from the devil.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pseudoscience. So, all right, Cancer.
Well, we're all going to prove them wrong. So,
yeah, brother. Let's have a look at some dates, shall we? Interesting dates.
Yeah.
All right, so we've done Christmas here. Let's start here at Christmas. No, let's start at Aries. So we're going to have a look at all the holy dates that happen here in Nisan. This is Nisan of the Jews, Aries. Nisan 14 is the date in particular. Do you know how many biblical events happen on Nisan 14? Around about here, just after the equinox. Easter. Noah's Ark lands on Mount Ararat on Nisan 14. The Israelites come out of Egypt on Nisan 14. Jesus is resurrected on Nisan 14. Jericho, the walls fall on Nisan 14. The Israelites, not only they come out of Egypt, they go down to Egypt on Nisan 14. You'll understand why when you understand astrology. You won't. The Bible is pure astrology, pure astrology.
Also, Nisan. There's a car named Nisan, no?
Yeah, and you know what the symbol of the car is?
It's a round thing. Yeah, it's a.
That's the sun going through the equator here.
Yeah, that's it. The
round. Hang on a minute. I have to open the door. Okay, so that's the symbol for Nisan, the Japanese motor company owned by the Rothschilds. Of course, the Rothschilds know all about Nisan because they're the Rockefellers who own Japan, and also Mazda. What's Mazda?
Mazda, yeah.
Aries. Nisan, Aries. Mazda. Have a look at the symbol of Mazda, which is the Persian word for Nisan, which is the Jewish word for Aries. And you'll see that they both are symbols of the sun going through the equator, or the astrological glyph of Aries.
Of Aries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now we'll get to that in a minute. We'll see there's about 20 major events. Abraham sacrificed the ram caught in the thicket on Nisan 14 on Mount Moriah. This is Mount Moriah. This is Mount Ararat, where Noah's Ark lands. You see? Okay, let's move forward. We come up to, let's have a look at the last day of Cancer. In the liturgical year, this day here is called the day of Mary Magdalene. Well, why would that be? Well, because the moon is the ruler of Cancer, and as I've always said, Jesus is the sun, the crested one, the Christ. The sun has the crest, and Mary Magdalene is the moon, and that is the day, the last day of Cancer is her day. Couldn't it be anywhere else?
No.
No. What about the day of purification, the 1st of February, which is the cross-quarter day? In the middle of these days, we have the cross-quarter days. May Day, Loaf Mass Day, Halloween, and Groundhog's Day.
Halloween, that's another one. Interesting to talk about.
Everything is on here, man. Only the wise know this secret. You know how many people mock this? Oh, Santos thinks he's found the key to understanding all things. No, I don't think that. I know that, and I didn't find it. It's always been there. How did you miss it?
It's like the flat Earth. It's always been flat. How did we miss it? Because we just never.
It's not. This is not my stuff. I'm just intelligent enough to pay attention and see it for what it is. How did anyone else miss it? How did they miss it? How did Jordan Maxwell miss this ecliptic? How did Michael Tessarian miss the ecliptic?
Yeah, I look a lot at their work. I looked at everything from Jordan Maxwell, everything from Michael Tessarian. Never seen them talk about that stuff.
No, don't take away from any of those guys. Those guys are
great. No, they're great. Yeah, they're great.
Those are great researchers and syncretists. They don't know they're syncretists, but they're syncretists. But how did they miss the ecliptic?
Yeah.
How did Godfrey Higgins miss the ecliptic? I don't see Plato talking about the ecliptic or Pythagoras talking about the ecliptic. How could you miss it? It's right there. It is the ecliptic, the wave. The wave teaches all things. So if you're going to laugh and say, oh, surely it's something else that is the big toe or whatever they call it, well, you're the ignoramus that didn't see it. You missed the boat. You've been caught with your pants down. Not me. I ain't going to be accused of missing the whole purpose and the whole understanding of life. I'm here to understand all things.
Everything.
I'm not here to drink beer and smoke joints and have some entertainment while I'm down here for 30 or 40 years. I'm here to get my shit together and go back home. And I'm going to do it and share it with everyone else. And this is how to do it. Yeah. Atonement Day. Well, why would that be on the 23rd of September? Atonement Day or Judgment Day. At one mind. Basically, atonement, mind. And that happens on that equinox there. You see these people getting around with 23 on their T-shirts. They've got no idea why, because they don't know the ecliptic, do they? I'll just tell that person I'm on a show. I just got a call.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, it's hard to type with one hand, isn't it? Right. Look, you know what? My mind's going blank with all these. So what we'll do is we'll go straight to the PowerPoint presentation where it's all prepared, and we're going to have a look at some staggering festivities and show how they go along the ecliptic and show why this calendar is such a beautiful calendar.
Yeah, very anxious to see that.
The solar calendar is exquisite when it's put together with the lunar calendar, as it should be. So let's go to that. Where are we? The holy days. There we go. I did this presentation in Birmingham in 2013, and they still have not published it. And this is very, very heartbreaking. When I did the tour with Truth Juice, I made a deal with him, and I said, as long as I'll come and do a tour in England, I did 14 presentations all around the place: Hull, St. Anne's, Bristol, Brighton, London, Manchester, Birmingham. I went everywhere, man. And I said, I even went to Glastonbury, did a presentation there, and Stonehenge. And those two are the only ones that were published. And the Truth Juice people didn't even film those. I said to them, the deal is this. I want minimal payment. I didn't even have enough money to pay my rent after that tour. Yeah. And because they're only charging $5 a head to get into the presentation in most of them. And I said, the deal is this: you film them and publish them for the world for free. And not one of them was published. Manchester, I did a presentation called I forget now, about alchemy. I did a presentation on the wheel and the ecliptic and alchemy, not published. Birmingham, I did one called The Art of Gospel Writing. I did one called The Holy Days, unpublished. They're just sitting on someone's computers, you know. It's disgraceful.
These are the best stuff to publish on YouTube when you go live in front of people and interact with people and do presentation like the one you have on your YouTube channel. They're amazing. Me, that's the one I prefer.
Man, I've got half of the stuff is unpublished. I did 4 days in Florence in Italian, Syncretism in Italian in 2013. None of it's published. I did 2 days in Rome. Wow. None of it's published.
No, it doesn't. No justification for that.
No, the only guy that published my Italian stuff was Eugenio when I went back to Italy after Amsterdam, and I did 2 days in Lucca, and those 2 days are published, but there's 6 days of unpublished material. Imagine how the Italians would benefit from that. It's disgraceful.
Yeah.
This wisdom needs to come back. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay, brother. Get ready to have your mind blown. Good. Of course, I'm not speaking to any materialists out there. They're just going to laugh at all this because they're just kicking back, drinking booze, and
they're too busy watching hockey. Anyway, it's the playoff. They're too busy watching hockey, the Buffon.
Yeah, exactly.
Me, I'm done with all those distractions.
Yeah, brother.
I just find it so funny now that I was caught up in this. Feel so much better now. Look with who I am on YouTube, Mr. Santos Bonacci. Santos, I looked up to you, man, for how many years? That's what I said. I did a video on my Motivation Academy channel the other day. I said, I'm so proud. I'm so glad to hang out with Santos. The guy is a legend. It's like he's been all over the world doing presentation, and no, it's great. I really enjoy it. Just to let you know.
Thanks, brother. Likewise. Now,
yeah.
So on a globe Earth, there's the sine wave. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I've done this so many times.
Yeah.
Here on the flat Earth, that's how the true sine wave works. That's it there. The analemma. This is the figure 8 that the sun produces as it rotates clockwise. This is the Tropic of Cancer. Here is the equator. Here is the Tropic of Cancer. And this is the true system we live on. This is how it works. The North Pole is in the middle here, as you know, and that's the true sine wave. Now, these are the festivities that we're going to look at, most of the festivities. We're going to start here at 9 o'clock at the vernal equinox, March the 21st, where the sacred year begins. And then we're going to go around here. We're going to finish back at March, and we're going to see all the festivities and see if your mind doesn't get blown. This is the first section. Now, you can see this. I wonder if I make this bigger, can you still see it?
Yep, I see it good.
Oh, great, great.
Sometimes I seem to look up because I have my big TV on top there. I hook up the big TV. So if you see me look up, because I look at the TV on top. So now I
There's
see
March the 21st. Can you see that?
Yep.
This is the true beginning of the year, March the 21st, your two sons' birthday.
Yeah.
This is what the hot cross buns are all about. The sun has crossed over from Pisces, from the underworld, from below the horizon, what they call below the earth, the line of the earth, and it's crossed over the equinox into the Lamb of God. And so now we have the Easter celebration, and the hot cross buns come out, and all those scones and biscuits and cookies that they cook at Easter time. Astarte is the goddess which gives us the word Easter. Astarte, Ishtar, the eastern star. We did that last week, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
In Egyptian, she is Hathor. In the Norse, she is Ostara. In Assyria, she is Ishtar. There's Ishtar. Demeter. Adem, Demeter. Everything goes back to Adam, atom, atum. Ashtoreth. Kali. Aphrodite.
Kelly, is that where California come from?
Absolutely, of course. And what about one of the major cities in Colombia? Yeah, Kali. Everywhere you'll find Kali. Yeah, Kilimanjaro. Kali is all over the world. You'll find Kali. Even the Greeks have a word Kali, which means good. Kalimera. Kalimera means good day, because everything good is this goddess, Aphrodite, Kali. Where are we? Hilaria. Hilaria is to do with the word hilarity, which means to laugh, hilarious. And so
Hillary Clinton, I guess that's from there too. Is that where she chose her name from?
Absolutely. Happy Hillary. Hillary means happy, hilarious, of course. And the Romans laughed. They would laugh when the sun crossed over into the Lamb of God, because now the springtime is upon us. On March the 25th, a day after my birthday, a day before my mother's birthday, which was the original New Year's Day, pinned to April the 21st. So, April the 1st. And so March the 24th, my birthday was New Year's Eve. And the 25th of March was the true start of the year, just as the 25th of December is the birthday of the sun. So March the 25th was the birthday also of the sun, and Easter and the resurrection of the Christ, and all of that stuff. The Feast of the Annunciation, 25th of March. What's the Annunciation? Well, Gabriel comes down to Mary and says, hey, dude, guess what? You're going to have the Son of God in your womb. And so 9 months later, on the 25th of December, guess who's born? Well, it's the birthday of Jesus, isn't it? The 25th of December.
Jesus, yeah.
So you can only understand this. You can only understand this when you know the ecliptic. And so this is the ecliptic. The ecliptic is teaching this. It's teaching that the 25th of March, the Annunciation Day, is the day when the sun gets impregnated in springtime. It impregnates the ecliptic and then is conceived on that day. That's the day of conception. So I'll keep this up so people can read it.
Yeah,
Now,
no, I'm.
here's the day I was talking to you about before. Let's expand this a little bit. These all happen on Nisan 17, which is really Nisan, 3 days after Nisan 14. What this means is, let me explain. I said Nisan 14 before. I should have corrected that. Nisan 14 is actually the true lunar solar eclipse, ecliptic day. Not ecliptic, equinox. Nisan 14 is basically the lunar solar equinox day. 3 days later is when the sun then starts to move. And this is why all of these Jewish festivals happen. Let's have a look at them. Noah's Ark safely lands on Mount Ararat on Nisan 17. The Hebrews enter Egypt 430 years before deliverance on Nisan 17. Moses led the Israelites through the parting Red Sea on Nisan 17. The day of first fruits, Israel entered and ate the fruits of the promised land, Nisan 17. The walls of Jericho fall, Nisan 17. The cleansing of the temple by Hezekiah 800 years after entering the promised land happens on Nisan 17. Queen Esther saved the Hebrews from elimination on Nisan 17. And Purim begins on this, or is pinned to Nisan 17. The resurrection of the Messiah, Nisan 17. We've already discussed all these. So
Yeah.
this is what these people...
Jennifer just joined us. Hi, Jennifer. I don't know if she hears us. You hear us, Jen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, now I got you. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you. Thanks for having me. I didn't want to interrupt. Go right ahead.
Welcome, sister.
Thank you.
So what we're showing is all the beautiful holy days on the liturgical year, in the sacred year, along with the ecliptic, and we've just begun, really. We've just started at Nisan 17, which is Aries, where everything begins. And we've discovered that most of the sacred, the most sacred of all sacred celebrations occur in Aries, and all the most incredible biblical events like Noah's Ark landing on Mount Ararat all happened on this particular one day. And this is what these people who are churchgoers say here. Look at this. Have a laugh here, guys. Help yourselves to how the materialist mind works. These people, they think they are spiritual, but they are material. Let's have a look at this. Can you see where my cursor is?
Yep.
Yeah.
The odds of just two of these events all happening on the same day of the Hebrew year, 360 days, is 1 in 129,000.
Wow.
The odds of all of these events all happening on the same day of the Hebrew year are 1 in 783 quadrillion, 864 trillion, 876 billion, 960 million to 1. People, whoever you are listening to this presentation, I don't know how far reaching this presentation is going to go, but whoever you are, whether you are Muslim, Jew, Hindu, Christian, Syncretist, Buddhist, whatever you are, please, please understand that the ecliptic teaches all things. The reason why all of these sacred and most holy events happen on one day on the ecliptic is because it is the holiest of all times on the ecliptic. We've just passed it. We've just gone through Easter. Why does the world stop at Easter? Why do we still have Easter? It will never go away because it is a holy event. The sun has begun its journey on the ecliptic, and it's lengthening the days and shortening the nights and giving us chlorophyll, photosynthesis, and green vegetation and fruit, oil, wine, and bread. This is why the symbols of the Christ are oil, wine, and bread. This is why Bacchus is the god of wine. This is why Dionysus is the god of wine. This is why Allah is the god of wine. Allah, alcohol. Allah, alcohol. Al is Allah. El, the Elohim. these gods, these 7 planets along the ecliptic, are bringing us good cheer, wine, fruits, olive oil, and bread. When I was in Tuscany in 2013, all I saw in the countryside was olivettes. Everywhere there was olives all over those beautiful Tuscan mountains. Grapevines, wineries everywhere, and wheat to make bread. They had all kinds of grains. They had rye, they had spelt, they had wheat. But everywhere in the Tuscany, and Tuscany is the most sun-drenched place in all of the earth.
So that's
And
why Santos, and that's why in the Roman Catholic Church they eat that l'hostie. They call it l'hostie en français. It's some kind of bread that they give you in the front. I don't know. I've never been a church goer too much. I don't know how to call it. You go in the front and they give you a piece of bread, and the priest in the front drink wine and oil. He has oil and all kinds of stuff. He has a whole setup on the table.
I think they just eat wafers. Unleavened bread sometimes.
Yeah, it's wafers, but it's the symbolism behind it. It's the symbolism. The bread, see, bread is a symbol of the harvest and the cycle of the ecliptic. First, in Aries, the grass starts to, the wheat starts shooting up out of the ground. Then in Taurus, in the middle of spring, there is the bud, there is the flower, there's everything is. You look around, can you see blossoms everywhere? You guys should be seeing blossoms, yeah?
Yes, of course.
Right.
Yeah, it started.
It's
right,
beautiful.
that's Easter. Yeah, that's in Japan. They call that sakura. Sakura, which is another way of saying Sarah, the sun. Sarah Abram. Sarah, Sakura. And they sit. I've been in Japan twice in Easter, and I've celebrated under the cherry blossom trees, and we drink wine, and we have bread and cookies and all sorts of delights. And the Japanese love their sakura. But here in the West, you have your blossoms. So but the blossoms are nothing. You can't eat blossoms. So you wait for Taurus, and Taurus is where you start ploughing the grounds with your bull. Then Gemini comes, and all the little goats and all the sheep are born. Then Cancer comes, and the summer begins. Then Leo comes and dries all the fruits that have been growing, and Bacchus on the ecliptic has been giving you sunshine and rain. And this god has turned the wheat, the blossom of the wheat, now into bread. And in Virgo, the next sign, the virgins go out, collect the grains, bring them into the mills, bring them into the mills, bring them into the grinding mills, and they make bread. And now the year is complete. You see? Now you see how bread is a symbol of the work of the sun. And this is why you eat the bread and the wine. You drink the wine and you eat the bread, and you put oil on the bread, because these all come from the hard work of the sun. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's continue on. Saint Satur Day, the martyr, March the 29th. Satur being...
Hold on, Santos, hold on. If the bread is so sacred, why do they tell us it's bad to eat bread, it's bad to eat pasta, it's bad to... Like, I'm all confused here.
Well, it's bad to eat the hybridized grains that the Romans have hybridized in order to take the nutrition out of the grains. But grains do have nutrition, whole grains. We should be having probably sourdough breads, maybe not, I'm not sure about that, but we should be making our sprouted breads. You know, at least we should sprout those grains and then make breads from the sprouted grains. And
that is sacred bread, but it's not bread. Sacred bread is not the loaf you get at the grocery store, the white bread.
No, the rainbow bread. So when I was growing up in church, we ate the bread as Christ's body and drank the wine in his blood. So you're saying it has nothing to do with that whatsoever?
No, well, it's obviously that the bread of the Christ is the bread that the sun, that's the body of the Christ. That shows that the sun is able to make material nourishment for us. So we nourish ourselves from the bread because it's a symbol of the sun's energy, the sun's work, the sun's climactic, productive cycles. And then in the wine, no one else other than the sun is responsible for ripening the grapes. The moon cannot do that. Jupiter cannot do that. Their light is not sufficient to ripen the grapes. Only the sun can do this. So in Egyptian times, way before modern day Christianity, they would celebrate the Christ and Dionysus and Osiris, the gods of wine, by around September, which is the wine season. They would lift up their glass of wine when the mature wine came through their vats and their winemaking establishments. They would lift up their glass and they would say, "It is finished." And of course, when you look at the Gospel of Luke, the last words, the very, very last words of Christ are, "It is finished." Well, this is basically comes from the Egyptian Christian religion. The Christian religion was in Egypt for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years before the Romans suggested that there was a historical Christ 2,000 years ago. It's a joke. They're playing a joke on us. All the Gospels, all of them go back. They're timeless. They were never written 2,000 years ago. There's hundreds of Gospels. There's thousands of Gospels. The Nag Hammadi Gospels, the Dead Sea Scroll Gospels. There's thousands of them, and they all talk about Jesus and Christ, and it's all the sun on the ecliptic. And he is the maker of wine. This is why Jesus is always connected with wine. He goes to the marriage feast and he turns water into wine. He talks about no one puts new wine in old wineskins. Everything's about wine because Jesus is the sun. It is the sun. And I'm not here suggesting that the sun is an inanimate hydrogen ball floating through the skies. The sun is a being. It is the Archangel Michael. It is a being. It is a sentient God. It's the Son of God. S-O-N-S-U-N. It is a conscious, loving, kind being. It is intelligent. It is a sonoluminescent God being. It is the Son of God. Let's not take away from the Scriptures. What the Scriptures are saying is true. It's the buffoons that interpret it that have no idea.
That's one thing that's one thing I always felt when I look at the sun, when I stand outside and I just stand in awe in front of the sun. I feel so much, like I feel communication. I feel something with that. I'm not a sun worshiper. It's not what I mean, but listen, we get good energy from the sun. The sun is essential for us. That's why they block it off with those cloaking device, and stuff like that. But when I stand in front of the sun, I get, like you say, it's an intelligent thing. It cannot not be an intelligent design if we are intelligent. So this whole thing is intelligent for sure.
Absolutely, brother. Look, we have been fooled to believe that we are the only conscious entities around. Everything is conscious. Every single thing you see has consciousness. Yeah. And so the ancients, the ancients, they saw everything as one conscious, flowing, coherent manifestation. And we are just part of that. The sun and the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, these are all conscious beings. These are our brothers. These are our big brothers. We have to show love to them. We don't worship them. We worship the Creator. We worship God, not the Lord. We give our devotion. Worship is devotion. We devote ourselves to the higher truth, to the higher light, to the higher love. God is love. It's
That's what we're
unconditioned
doing
love.
here. That's what we're doing here. This is the work we're doing. We're dedicating ourselves. We're not obsessed. We're dedicated.
That's right, brother. This is intelligent devotion. It's not blind devotion like those Christians that invaded the Americas and killed the indigenous people because they were not Christian. Oh, we're Christian, we're allowed to kill. Oh, yes, so Jesus told us we got to go and kill people, didn't they? That's not Christian. You will recognize them by their fruit. We are the true Jews. We are the true Christians. We are the true Buddhists here. We are the true Krishnas. We are the followers of the true science because we apply it with intelligence and spirituality. Anyway, proceeding on. Bikram, the festival of first fruits. Well, that's funny. That happens in spring, does it? In Aries. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, March the 27th. Why do the Indians have their festival of colours? What colours? Could that possibly be the blossoms? The only time in the year when colours turn up? But, well, I don't know. Oh, gee. There it is. There's the Indians in Aries, the Lamb of God, all the blossoms, festival of colours. Here's the Jews, Bikram again. Well, funny about that.
Okay, we lost the screen. Okay, now I get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, now I see it now.
Oops, let me just put that in its right place. I just noticed I've got a slide in the wrong place. So here, whoops, Bikram. Yeah, that was supposed to go there. It was in the right place. All right, Bikram, March the look at this March, guys. It's still in March. Aries. Why are the Jews celebrating Bikram, the festival of fruits? Because this is where the blossom begins. You have to honor the sun on the ecliptic. It's all about the sun and the moon. The first fruits. There's the Jews in Aries. After all of those celebrations that we've seen that they celebrate. Sakura, the Japanese. There they are, under the blossom trees. Cerealia. Well, that's interesting. Cereals.
Cereal.
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 Yeah, April 15. The same birthday as, there it is, there's the Romans celebrating Cerealia. Look at them. In Aries, in the middle of Aries, in April 15, when Ceres, and that's where the cerebrum is, in the head, in your body. Remember, you've got to start everything at your head, Aries, the cerebrum, Cerealia, Abram. And here, look at this. Rama, the birthday of Sri Rama. Always in Aries, the 15th of April. Rama is the ram. This is just Jesus in the East, guys. This is just the Christ in the East. There's no difference. There is no difference. This is syncretism. Rama is the ram. It's Krishna. And as I've pointed out, when you look at the analema, you've got to study the analema. April the 15th is right here at the crossing where this figure 8 intersects. On the way up, it's April 15. On the way down, it's August 29. We're going to get to that in a minute. August 29 is the beheading of St. John the Baptist. Now, I wonder why when the sun comes down here and crosses here, does this look like a head?
Could be, yeah.
Looks like the
Yeah,
hank also. The hank, you know, the Egyptian African thing, the hank.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
That's what the ankh is. It's the analema. Of course it is.
Yeah.
So what I'm pointing out here is on the way up, this is the equator. Here is the Tropic of Cancer up here, down at the top. At the bottom is the Tropic of Capricorn. And this figure 8, funny how it intersects 8.5 degrees above the equator. 8.5 degrees above the equator, the figure 8. Please stop and think, guys. There it is. This is one of my graphics, and I've shown how here is the equator, March the 21st. We started here. Okay, now what we're doing is we're going around here and we're going to see all the holy days and how they work. Okay, so we're going to have to go a little bit faster. On the way down, when we get to August, when we come around here and we get to August, we're going to see what this means here. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. So we've done. Now let's do May. Beltane. There's all the Mardi Gras people. Oh yes, they're all sexual here, and let's let's flop our tits out and have a good old time, shall we? The pagans. But that's the thing. I mean, pagans are also celebrating this. It's not just the religions. It's also these people here. Everybody honours the sun. Everybody. And everybody should honour the sun on the ecliptic. May Day, Beltane. Beltane. Here's some religious people celebrating under the May tree, under the maypole. There's the maypole, Beltane. Pentecost. Pentecost means 50 days after the equinox, Pentecost, 49 days. And it takes 49 days for the soul to enter after conception. And so, remember, Conception Day was the 25th of March.
How do they know that?
I don't think they know. I think this is very sacred science. I don't think everybody knows that.
That's right. They don't. They get it from the ancient texts, which know that, because we knew everything when we wrote these sacred, timeless masterpieces. Now we just look at them and we misinterpret. It's like bringing a computer to some indigenous tribe that has never seen anyone in the West before and never had any contact with Westerners. You bring a computer to them, they're going to curse you. They're going to say you're the devil, right? They're going to say, what is this thing that makes visions? Oh, go away from me, you devil worshippers. So same with the Bible. The Bible has been so misrepresented and misunderstood that it's not funny. And my work is going to reestablish its importance and its truthfulness and its real significance. It's all astrology. It's all the ecliptic.
Yeah.
Cancer. Cancer begins the month of Tammuz. Tammuz is the Jewish month of mourning, and also the Muslims celebrate Ramadan, because now the sun is traveling. It's hit the top of the ecliptic at the Tropic of Cancer. Now it's got nowhere to go but down, and that's morning time. Simple. Again, here is more information about Tammuz, so I'll let the reader read this and pause. But again, you'll see the 17th day of Tammuz. It's always the 17th, the 14th and the 17th, which always correspond to our 21st. As I mentioned at the start of the show, the 21st is the beginning of every sign. Here's the Muslims, Ramadan, mourning, fasting, Ramadan. Why? Why is Ramadan in Cancer? Well, you can only understand that if you understand the ecliptic. Understand the ecliptic. Always look at the ecliptic and you will understand all things. There you go, I just changed the colour of that. The birthday of St. John the Baptist, 24th of June, 3 days after June the 21st. Please pay attention. This is one of the most important dates to pay attention to, because it's also connected.
Saint-Jean-Baptiste, c'est la Saint-Jean-Baptiste au Québec le 24 juin.
C'est vrai.
Yeah, c'est le Saint-Jean-Baptiste ici au Québec le 24 juin. We celebrate Saint Jean-Baptiste, which is supposed to be the Quebec National Day, but me, I don't follow that stuff.
Exactly. Let's pay attention and we shall be wise. The 3rd of July is the feast of St. Thomas. Well, what's St. Thomas's feast doing in the month of Tammuz? Are they one and the same? Tammuz, Thomas, Didymus, Didymus. Here you'll see Doubting Thomas, or Thomas Didymus. Well, if you take just the Didymus, well, you've got another way of saying Thomas. And Dominus, the Lord Jesus, who is he? Dominus, Thomas, Tammuz, Damuz, Damuzi, according to the Persians. It's all there. Tanabata, on the 7th of July. Look at this. Why do the Japanese celebrate Tanabata? Tana is always, that's an anagram for atom. It's all there. And it's because the Milky Way galaxy is directly overhead on the 7th of July. And the two lovers that meet in the sky on that one day of the year, 3 days after July 4th, Independence Day, in Cancer, we have these two lovers, And who are they? Well, they're the star Vega and Altair. See, Orihime, the princess, Orihime, Vega, the fifth brightest star in the sky, is on one side of the Milky Way galaxy, and Hikoboshi is on the other side. And so on the 7th of July at midnight, you look straight up and you'll see these two stars, and they meet. So if you know the ecliptic, you know the reason for all of these celebrations. There's Tanabata, and there's the Milky Way galaxy directly overhead, and Hikoboshi and Orihime overhead.
But now, what is exactly, because what is the Milky Way? Like, it's not what we've been taught. It is a big spiral thing going around. What is for you now the Milky Way galaxy? Because that's
what I was going to ask too. I'm so glad you asked him.
What is the Milky Way galaxy for you? Because for me, it doesn't exist too much now. So, what is space for me? It's all not that astrology is not, but I mean there is stuff out there, but. What is the Milky Way?
I was going to ask what the Great Rift is to you now.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, the Great Rift is actually it is truly a rift. The dome of the heavens actually did tear apart, and it's what you'll see is that there is a kind of a welding where they've been welded together in the sky. You know, I mean, I'm not talking about with machines and please don't look at that as anything material, but it's a spiritual joining together of two hemispheres of the dome, and this rift occurred in times past when cataclysms and upheavals occurred on this earth. And so we're actually seeing wounds, an open wound in the sky. We're seeing the dome where it has suffered, where destructions have occurred, where interplanetary or intergalactic beings perhaps did cause, you know, some major destruction. These stories we hear about, you know, in the Hindu, the Mahabharata and Ramayana and all of these Hindu texts, where you know, certain gods were pursuing other gods and destroying planets and worlds as they went. This is evidence of that. You know, there is evidence of that in some of the orbs that we see with our telescopes. And so the Milky Way galaxy is basically the womb where all the souls come from. We descend from this Milky Way part of the dome. It's not a galaxy, and yet you could call it a galaxy because all of those stars that are in the dome, they are fixed. That's why there's no parallax. Year after year, Orion always looks like Orion for thousands and thousands of years. Even the pyramids of Giza prove this, that the angles of those three pyramids are the same angles in the belt of Orion. Now, if we were hurtling through space at 550,000 miles every hour, 550,000 miles every hour, which means gazillions of miles every year, there would be the shape of Orion would distort from year to year. There would not be an Orion after, you know, say a handful of years. But we have pictures in caves in France of Taurus, of Orion, of the Pleiades that have the same shape as they do now, and they were painted, say, 40, 50,000 years ago. Well, this just proves that the dome, the firmament, the vault of heaven has fixed stars in it, and there's absolutely no, you know, billions of light years separating these stars. So the globe is dead. It is dead in the mind of intelligent people. Yeah. In the minds of brainwashed people, you know, you can't. What can you do? You can't help them, can you? Yeah, stupidity is stupidity. There's no cure for stupidity. But in our minds, we know.
In that case, you go to the next. You try as much people as you can to teach them the truth. They don't want to hear it. Go to the next. Don't waste your time.
That's right. So, as Plato and Pythagoras and all the spiritualists taught of history, they taught that our souls come from the Milky Way galaxy and descend through the 7 spheres of the Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, Moon, and then the Earth clothes us with our physical garments. But the 7 superior planets clothe us with, well, Saturn gives us temperance and prudence. Jupiter gives us rationale and logic. Mars gives us will. The Sun gives us divine will. Venus gives us sensual wisdom, sensuality and wisdom. Mercury gives us intellect and communication, and the Moon gives us imagination. And we are clothed with these 7 conditions, and they are turned into vices as we descend, and virtues as we ascend. Okay, so here we have the Kuri people of Victoria, who had the same. They have the same festival as the Japanese. There's the two stars of Tanabata, the previous celebration, celebrated also by the Japanese people here, by the Aboriginals. Here's the Saint Mary Magdalene on the 22nd of July. Interesting. The last day of Cancer, ruled by the moon, Magdalene, Selene, Helene, Leanne, Catharine, anything ending with an or any is the moon. And so the last day of Cancer, ruled by the moon, who is the consort of the sun, Jesus, the crested one, the Christ, Mary Magdalene, and it happens to be on July the 22nd. Like, it couldn't be, let's say, on August the 6th in the middle of Leo. Couldn't be in, couldn't have been Pisces. We couldn't put it, say, on May the 5th. No, it had to be on the very last day of the rulership of the moon. Interesting.
Interesting.
This is another cross-quarter day. This would be, hang on a minute, where have I gone? What have we got here? Yeah, August 1st, cross-quarter day, Loaf Mass Day. I will leave this for, gee, what's going on here? I'll leave this for the reader to read, because we don't have the time. What's the time now, man? Are we on the hour?
8:25. It's okay.
Okay.
We're going to do 2 hours, you said before? No?
Yep, I want to round it off to the top of the hour. So I'm halfway through. Yeah. Let me fly through here, guys. This is an interesting day. August the 6th, the Transfiguration of Jesus, where he takes 4 disciples on top of the mountain and he's transfigured. As you can see here, this is from Raphael, I think, this painting. These are famous, famous painting, this one. And you'll see, you can Google the Transfiguration of Jesus. You'll see many of the Renaissance artists, they depicted this because it's so famous. Why would Jesus be transfigured on the 6th of August, guys? Why is the sun transfigured in the middle of the dog days when he's conjunct Sirius and he is as white and glorious as can be, in the middle of Leo, the lion of the tribe of Judah, on August the 6th? I like
that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So how do they know the dates of the Jesus dates and stuff?
They don't. These are dates have been there since time immemorial, sister. No one put them there. No one made them. No one invented them. No one named them. They come to us from the heavens. They drip down from the spiritual realms. We are the beneficiaries of all this wisdom. It is timeless wisdom. No one made these. This is why when you get a Jehovah's Witness who says, oh, but that's a Catholic bull crap. It is timeless. This is the calendar. This is the universe. This, we cannot add to this. We cannot take away. Woe to him. Woe to the one who takes away from this science. Syncretism rules.
And that's why, in the very fact that they are taking away all science, all sacred stuff like that, is the very proof that it doesn't come from them. You know, they didn't invent nothing, those Babylonian people.
Nothing new under the sun, guys.
Yeah.
Nothing. Have a look at this. Have a talk about that. I'll be back in a minute. Got to go and do something. Back in a minute. This is an amazing day. August 15th. Check it out.
Assumption of the Virgin, August 15th. That's...
Oh, I lost it.
I've never even heard of this day. Oh, the Holy Virgin Mary.
No, there's so much is like
I'm not
it's
Catholic.
and it's not hidden. It's not because it's something hidden from us. It's all in plain sight. That's what I told my wife today. I said,
Yeah.
crazy. It's all in plain sight. And even have you seen Barack Obama's last little speech that he did, Jennifer? The word he used in them.
Who?
Barack Obama did a little speech about the flat Earth and stuff.
Yeah,
and he said,
I watched it.
and the word he used in them is like, wow, wake up, people. He's telling you to wake up. It seems, when he said seems to support the globe, or, it's the word, it's the word. Yeah, and a bunch of scientific evidence.
All right, guys, why is the Virgin, now this is another famous painting by Peter Paul Rubens in 1577. Why is she assumed? Why is the assumption, in other words, she's taken up to heaven? Well, think about it. August the 15th. That's basically in the middle of Leo, toward the end of Leo. In 6 days' time, on the 21st, 22nd of August, the sign of Virgo begins along the ecliptic. 7 days prior to that, the sun, see, when the sun goes through a sign, you can't see that sign. Right now the sun is in Aries, right? It's April the 1st. You can't see Aries. You cannot see Aries. Why? Because the sun is blotting out the light of the stars. And so you can only see the other 11 constellations. When the sun is transiting a sign, see, right now the sun is slaying the ram. So when Hercules kills Leo, it's in August. When Samson kills the lion, and when Hercules kills the lion, that's the sun. Samson is the sun, Hercules is the sun, everything's the sun. And so when Abraham kills the ram, it's the sun killing the ram. When Mithras kills the bull, it's the sun in Taurus. So when on the 15th of August, that is the day when Virgo is not visible to the human eyes on Earth anymore. That is the day that it happens. Okay? So she's assumed. The assumption, she's taken up to heaven. You can't see her anymore. So if you know the ecliptic, you'll understand all things.
That's so cool.
But what you mean, it's not visible on Earth? Even at nighttime, you cannot see the constellation?
Well, of course not, because you can only see 6 constellations at a time.
Okay.
Anywhere you are on the Earth, you cannot see the other 6, because wherever you are on the Earth, you look up, you can only see 180 degrees of the ecliptic. Doesn't matter where you are. So, so right now it's daytime here, and the sun it's late morning, and the sun is in Aries. Well, I won't be able to see 180 degrees of signs anyway, because the sun is in Aries. So it's behind the sun are the stars of Aries. How can you see with all that glowing light? In fact, when the sun comes up, all the stars disappear. You can only see the stars at night, because the sun must be out of your perspective. It must be out of your sight in order for you to see the glow of the stars. So basically,
but the stars are always there, even in daytime. They're in the sky. I mean, no?
Yeah, of course, but you can't see them with your eyes. You see, the human eye cannot see their glow because the sun's glow is too bright and it overshadows the. This is why the sun is Perseus. Perseus slays Medusa, the starlit night. Medusa's not this snake-headed beast, literal. It's the starlit night. So when Perseus comes with his sword in the mornings, he chops off the head of Medusa. It's just talking about the sun. When it comes up in the morning, all the stars flee. Yeah. And that's Medusa, the starlit night. So right now, the sun is in Aries. You cannot see Aries. But when the sun sets, you'll be able to see Taurus. You can still see Taurus. You can see the sign next door. You can see the signs next door. In the morning, you'll see Gemini before it rises. In the evening, Taurus and Gemini you will see in the evening. In the morning, you will see the constellations on the other side, Pisces and Aquarius. You can see in the evening you see the signs following. Following, and in the morning you will see the signs preceding. Okay.
Yeah.
But you will not see the sign when the sun enters that sign. So the sun enters Virgo. It doesn't enter Virgo on August 15th, but it begins to blot out the light. That is the moment when all the stars of Virgo are gone. You can't see them in the evening, and you can't see them in the morning on the 15th of August. Beautiful, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, the Arabs have what they call Wafa al-Nil. Hang on a minute, guys. I've got my parrots who are calling.
Le fleuve, le Nil. I guess
brother.
it comes from that. It's just another anagram.
Yep, it's all there. You want to see something beautiful?
Well,
yeah.
Sorry.
Whoa. I was just looking on a flat map at the sun leaving me right now, and it's over in Australia. That makes sense That's cool.
I want to show you something, guys. Can you see my what can you see? Can you see my video?
No, not yet.
It's coming.
Your computer's up with a bunch of different screens.
I want to show you my parrots.
You have parrots?
Well, they're not mine, but they come to eat. I feed them. I'm gonna feed them because they're calling out to me. They're complaining.
That's incredible.
They're calling out to me saying, "Hey."
Australia is one of the places I have to hit up in my lifetime.
Yeah. Hey, can you see? You can't see me yet.
No.
No, it's just a bunch of scrambled.
It looks like a hallway of screens.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you my cat while you guys are waiting. This is Mowgli.
Oh, he's big, him.
Yeah.
Can you see those birds there?
Oh, look at them. They're up there. I see them.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hang on a minute. I'm going to go out and feed them. Can you see them?
Yeah, they're pretty. That's neat.
All right, hang on a tick.
Bring one on your shoulder.
That's so neat.
Yeah.
The most I get out here are deer and raccoon. Got some birds.
She's got the green hair, but usually they bring a lot of their friends. They bring rosellas, multicolored. They're so beautiful.
Yeah. Where are you? He doesn't hear me now, but he's going to catch one.
Well, he's in Australia. I forgot where he lives, though. Oh, look at it. It's all really pretty colored.
He's going to... Yeah, bring him, Santos. Put him on your shoulder.
Do they talk at all? That's really cool. Thank you.
Well, that male one, Chaitanya, he first came into my house. He just flew straight in, and he just pointed to all the seeds that he wanted. He saw all my seeds. I had sesame seeds. I had sunflower seeds, and he just, with his beak, he just went donk 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 until I gave it to him, and I feed him out of my hand. First day I've ever met him.
Oh.
And then he brings all his girlfriends. He's got a whole harem of girlfriends.
That's neat.
That's nice.
Okay, back to the presentation, guys. I don't think we'll be able to finish it. somehow.
We'll do a part, and we'll do another hangout another time. No problem.
Yeah.
We're
All
not
right, can you
taking
see?
days off. We're not planning on taking days off here.
I don't know.
Okay, can you see that? Tell me when you can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Il y a le Nil.
Okay, so
And
this is the day, August 15, which is the day of the Assumption, that the Nile has to do with the Nile flooding, right? Every year, the Nile flooding and the sorrow for the dead husband of Isis. Funny, isn't it? Isis, would that be Mary, who is celebrated on the day of Assumption? And then you go over to Italy and you've got Ferragosto. I remember growing up as here in Australia, of course, being Italian, when my relatives would come around and they'd say, "Oh, today's Ferragosto, it's Ferragosto," and everybody, all the Italians would stop. It's Ferragosto, you know, the day of the Assumption of the Blessed Mary Virgin. Oh, Santa Maria Vergine Ferragosto. You know, it was all this holiness about this, you know. But there you go, guys. It's on the ecliptic. Please, let's understand it. And look at this. Remember this day when John the Baptist gets his head cut off, and the Virgin who dances before Herod, she says, "Oh, I want the head of John the Baptist on a platter." Would that be the Virgin Virgo? Would that be the day that the Analema loses its head on the 29th of August? Opposite.
right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that makes more sense than the story makes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And remember the birthday of St. John up at this on the 24th of June, the feast of St. John the Baptist. We did that.
Yeah.
Well, that's here.
La Fête Nationale du Québec.
Yeah, and opposite is the 25th of December, which is Jesus' birthday. And then in the middle here, Sri Rama has a birthday, the Lamb of God, on the 15th of April. And on the way down, his cousin gets his head chopped off. It's all about the Analema. It's all about the ecliptic.
It's all about that.
So makes sense.
Birthday of St. John, who is 6 months older than Jesus, 24th of June. Birthday of Jesus, 25th of December, opposite, 6 months earlier or later or whatever, doesn't matter. Birthday over here on the 15th of April of Sri Rama, the Lamb of God, and John the Baptist gets his head chopped off. That's the head of John the Baptist, and this is the Analema that gets baptized as it goes from the northern hemisphere into the waters of the southern hemisphere, baptizing. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's all along the Analema. Everything is has to do with this beautiful procession of the sun along the ecliptic. Yep. And so we begin to work out how all these things work out. And it happens to be in the Virgin because the Virgin is the one that chops the head off the sun as it has to go down and descend down into the winter climes. So what's going on here is you always see the motif of the Lamb and the Virgin. Leonardo da Vinci, how many paintings did he do with Saint Anne, Saint Mary with the Lamb and John the Baptist sitting on their shoulder, and Jesus and a little lamb walking around? Well, it's because
why the representation of the Virgin? Why Virgin? Because a woman, Virgin to me is a woman that never had sex. So why the representation of a virgin?
It's Virgo.
Well, this is the thing. There are, in astrology, there's such a thing called as sterile signs that are sterile, that don't produce many children, that are contrary to what's the word now I'm looking for? What is the word when someone produces a lot of offspring? We call them
fertile. Very fertile.
Yeah, Yep. It's not a fertile sign. It's the sign of
Yeah.
the harvest. And so in astrology, Virgo and Leo, these are two signs that are called sterile.
Okay. That's
And
why.
so a virgin does not produce. That's why it is called a virgin, appropriately, because the energy of Virgo is sterile. It has to do with that energy. And so you can only understand this if you understand astrology and the ecliptic.
But that was my question, but you answered it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Nativity of the Virgin. Now, why is the Virgin born on September the 8th, pretty much smack bang in the middle of Virgo? Well, because now, along the ecliptic, in the evening, you can see the first stars of Virgo again. Because since August 15, when the day of the Assumption, when she was assumed back into heaven, you could not see it for say 15, 20 days. You do not see the stars of Virgo. And on the September the 8th, she's born again. Judgment Day, we've already done that. Right there on the equinox of the autumnal equinox, Judgment Day. Funny about that, isn't it? Why would it be Judgment Day? Well, when you look at the ecliptic, when you look at that there, it's right here, 23rd of September, the equinox. And the sun is judged because this is the paradise of heaven and this is hell, winter, inverno, inferno. So in Latin, inferno is hell and inverno is winter.
L'hiver, c'est l'hiver, c'est l'hiver.
L'hiver, yeah.
L'hiver en français, on est en hiver. Mais l'hiver est fini, on est au printemps.
C'est vrai. Judgment Day. Weighing of the heart ceremony. Well, look at those scales. Would that be Libra?
There we go.
Well, yes, it is. Day of Judgment. Why is Venus always holding a sword and two scales? Because Venus is the ruler of Libra. Venus rules Libra. She's the Eve, opposite Mars, who is Adam in Aries. Those are the two signs of the equinox, Aries and Libra. One is ruled by Eve, Venus, evenness, Eve, and one is ruled by Aries, Mars. And how do I know that Mars is Adam? Well, because the Hebrew word for Mars is Adam is Ma-adim. Ma-adim. M-A-A-D-I-M. Ma-adim. Well.
Mardi. Yeah. Mardi en français, c'est pour ça qu'on a on a mardi, lundi, mardi, mercredi. Mardi, Mardin.
And you've got mardi, Tuesday.
Mardi, yeah? Mardi, which is the Mars day also. They call it mardi en français.
Mardi, oui.
Yeah. You know, I always question those things. Why do you call that lundi, mardi, mercredi? Like, I don't know. It's all syncretism. That's all it is.
It's all syncretism, brother.
Yeah.
And again in Libra, Rosh Hashanah. What does Rosh mean? Rosh comes from Resh, the head of the year. Hoshana is the year, head of the year. We're at the autumnal equinox because the Jews begin their secular year in Libra Tishri. Opposite this, the beginning of their sacred year in Aries, Nisan, the Lamb of God. Rosh Hashanah, they blow the horn, the ram's horn, according to the Fibonacci golden ratio golden section. Yom Kippur, the autumn equinox, prayer service. It's all about, and look at those poor chickens. Look at that, man. How disgraceful is that?
It's sad.
Isn't that sad, people?
Yeah.
These poor children, they don't know that they're practicing a satanic version of Judaism, which was a pure religion, and they're actually literally killing the animals that the sun is killing along the ecliptic. They've been taught that in Easter, the Muslims, they will kill lambs. That literally in Taurus they will kill bulls. Literally, that's disgraceful.
Disgraceful.
Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, also known as the Day of Atonement, at-one-ment. When does that happen? At the equinox, the sacred autumnal equinox. Mabon, 21st of September. This is all along the equinox. MON ritual. Saint Bacchus the Martyr on October the 7th. I'll leave that for folks to read. I don't have time to go through this. I'll do this properly one day.
We can pause it and read it.
Here's another All Saints Day, 1st of November, or Halloween, All Saints Day. It's all the same stuff. Halloween.
Halloween.
Cross-quarter Day, 1st of November.
Yeah.
Samhain, according to the Celtic ceremony. Same stuff. The Day of the Dead in Mexico, November 1st. So All Saints Day, Halloween, Samhain. Doesn't matter what you call it. Everybody's celebrating this. They're all doing it. The Day of the Dead in Mexico, 1st of November. Cross-quarter Day, Day of the Dead.
Wow.
The disappearance of Osiris, Noah's flood. It begins in November on the 17th, because remember, Noah's 5 months later, on the 17th of Nisan, was when Noah's Ark lands on Mount Ararat in Aries, because the flood begins 5 months earlier in Tishri. Here it is. There's the information. It goes to show. I'll just expand that for the so it's legible.
I had
Please
some of my Christian friends this week say, well, Noah's Ark was real and that was a real story. So you can't pick and choose what's real and not real in the Bible.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. Some things pan out to be real because there's only one script, there's only one ecliptic. And so whatever happens on Earth, every day you are following the ecliptic. Whatever you do from day to day is you being Jesus, a son or daughter of God, the Creator, because you have Vishnu, Krishna, and Brahma, and Shiva, and Jesus, and Moses, and Abraham in you, because you are those ones. It's all the same substance. And every day we are doing what is in the scriptures. We're only following the one script, folks.
Yeah.
And so Noah's Ark, you'll find that it's everywhere. Yes, you'll find that the Mayans speak about Noah's Ark and a legend of this, You'll find that the Atlanteans were teaching that a king of Atlantis with 7 others, you'll find that the Egyptians have, I've got presentations that teach all this and show all this, how the Egyptians have their god called Nu, and he has an ark with 7 people in it. So there you see Nu holding up an ark, Noah, and there's 7 people in that ark. Now what are the Egyptians doing with that, 50,000 years ago? What are they doing with that?
Exactly.
What are the Mayans doing with that? What are the Chinese doing with that? Their symbol of a boat is a bark with 8 people in it. Why 8 people? Why? Well, because the bark is the sperm. The sperm, the cell doubles. It divides and then becomes 2. Then it becomes 4. Then it becomes 8. And 8 is the vessel in which we come through the world. We come through the world through this octahedron, this octa shape, and those 8 cells, those original cells that you came through the cosmos from the Milky Way, descending through the 7 planets, you have in the middle of your body, in the center of your body, you have your original 8 cells, and they are and your body is the bark, and that's Nu or Noah carrying that ark. So of course, when you look out in the historical world, you're going to find Noahs and arks everywhere, because there's no other script. There's only the ecliptic. So of course we're going to find Jesus's. We're going to find a tomb of Jesus in Kashmir, in India, in Japan. I've stood on the tomb of Isikiri, Jesus Christ, in Japan. I've been on it. I've got a photo with me holding right there.
I never heard of such a thing.
Yeah, well, there's 3 tombs. There's one in Jerusalem, there's one in Kashmir, and there's one in Japan. And those, you look it up in Google and you search it, and you'll see that there's only 3 official tombs to Isikiri, and one of them's in Japan, and I've stood on it. Why? Was he there? No, he wasn't. It's because they're following the ecliptic. We all once knew the ecliptic. And now we're dumb. We're just a bunch of dumbasses.
It's true.
The Immaculate Conception, September 8. I don't know. This is wrong here. What's going on here? What happened here? Dang. Whoa, 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 whoa. What's that doing here? I'm going to put that back. Let me correct that right now, guys. I'm very pedantic about things like this.
Oh, I didn't know you could move it like that. I just learned something new.
Mm-hmm. Where are we now?
That's a bit newer version than my PowerPoint.
I have a new version.
And mine is old.
Okay, so let me fix that. Excuse me, taking away time from...
No, it's okay.
Dang. Oh boy. Mr. Pedantic here.
I had a couple of friends this week say that I'm just this is all Luciferian, and I was like saying, how can something that's actually happening right above our heads not be real? It's happening. This is happening all the time. So
That's the program. It's the programming.
Why would I trust in the literal interpretation of the Bible when I haven't seen any of those things occur, and not trust in something that's happening right now?
Yeah, look, you know what, Jen? This is the problem. I can tell you what the problem is, sister. It's quite simple. We have a materialist mind and we have a spiritual mind. And these people are still working out of their material mind, and they will belong to the herd, and the herd wants it that way, that everything is literal and mundane and historical, whereas it's not. It's not. It's not historical, because historical is not timeless. These scriptures are timeless, and we will find Jesus coming and going and coming, and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth coming forever. We will find Noah's Ark coming and going forever, because all cataclysms have to do with Nu and his ark, and cataclysms by water or by fire. So it's always going to be repeating. There will always be a Samson and a Hercules killing the lion. There will always be an Abraham killing the ram, and it will just happen over and over again. So what are you going to do? Are you going to help these little children that still believe in Santa Claus to try and teach them that it's not a literal story? Well, no, you're not. You're going to be, kicking your head against the wall.
Santa Claus and the Amanita muscaria. What do you think about that?
Well, again, you see, there's Jesus is the Amanita muscaria mushroom. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, that's it.
And so is Santa Claus. The same colours, red, white, and black, the colours of the mushroom. So when you go,
bless you.
Excuse me. When you go spiritual, then you go literary. When you stay mundane and literal, you will always stay historical and literal. Historical and literal. Yeah. This is where you will grow when you leave the historical and the mundane and you go transcendental, guys. And the ecliptic is what will do it for you. Okay, Saturnalia begins on the 17th of December. Remember that day, the 17th of December, because we're going to see the 17th of March, which is the day of Osiris or St. Patrick, Mr. Green. We'll get to that. Saturnalia, 17th of December, 5 days before the 21st, 4 days before the solstice. Interesting. Christmas Day. Remember, 9 months earlier we had the conception day, the day of Annunciation to Mary. Well, funny, then she has her child. 9 months
later, you have the child.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Capricorn.
Oh, that's something I've never seen it this way. I'm learning a lot tonight.
Yep. The Festival of Brumalia. Please read up here, guys. Read this, please, when you've got time. The day of circumcision. Funny, isn't it? The sun is born 8 days before January the 1st. Well,
That's interesting, because January 1st is called the day of circumcision. Would that be because the sun on the ecliptic has been circumcised, the old year is finished and the new year begins? Yes, it would.
So that's why they used to circumcise the boys automatically. Here in Quebec, it was done everybody was circumcised in the hospitals.
Yeah, 8 days after the son is born. So that's what why the Jews wait 8 days and then they circumcise their 8-day-old children, because it comes from the ecliptic. The son is born on the 25th and circumcised. In other words, the old year is finished and a new year begins on January 1st.
So how do you see the circumcision, as something barbaric or as something that's okay?
In the literal sense, yes, of course. Those chickens that were being slaughtered on Rosh Hashanah, that's butchery, that's murder.
Yeah.
They're actually practicing murder.
Yeah.
Circumcision is also murdering. They're murdering the spirit of their children so that they can be controlled and manipulated. Because why? Because they're literalists. They're mundane. They do not have a spiritual mind. These people are pretenders. They think they're going to heaven. They think they're doing some kind of great deed to the Lord. Lord, Lord, didn't we prophesy in your name? Didn't we expel demons in your name? Didn't we perform wonderful miracles in your name? Get away from me, you workers of lawlessness. I never knew.
Exactly.
Epiphany. Why is January the 6th the Epiphany? Because 12 days after December, you wait 12 days after the 25th of December, and then the sun begins to grow on the ecliptic. The Epiphany. Simple. Jesus turns up at the age of 12 in the temple. It's the Epiphany. The Epiphany, he appears. It's the sun appearing on the ecliptic, appearing to grow. The conversion of St. Paul on the 25th of December. Well, that's because St. Paul is Saturn, Apollo, Saturn, and the 25th of December is right in the middle of Capricorn and Aquarius, and he gets converted from a night ruler in Capricorn to a day ruler in Aquarius. Of course, it's the conversion of Saturn.
You mean 25th of January? You said 25th of December. Yeah.
Sorry. So the 25th of January is the conversion of St. Paul. I've explained this in many of my presentations. It's Saturn, who is Apollo, being converted from night Capricorn energy to day Aquarian energy, because he's the ruler of both of those signs. But he has to convert. This is another Celtic celebration. You will understand when you understand the ecliptic. Bridget. Then you have Imbolc on the 2nd of February, and you have the Feast of Nut on the 2nd of February, Groundhog's Day, and the festival of, it's funny, I forgot to put that in here, and I'm pretty disappointed, but I should have had the festival of purification, because guess what February means? Purification. It's the sun being purified after winter on the ecliptic.
Mm.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, the purification of the Virgin. I didn't forget it. There you go.
Okay.
Why is Groundhog's Day, the 1st or the 2nd of February, the purification of the Virgin? Because February means purification. Purification of the Virgin. Ratha Samtami of the Hindus. Please read this. Here's another Mardi Gras. Of course, February, March, because the sun now is growing. Ash Wednesday, Lent. What does Lent mean? Well, it's shortened for lengthening, and the sun is lengthening now because winter days are shorter and the days are getting longer and they're lengthening, so you celebrate length.
Le mercredi des cendres.
Oui.
Ash Wednesday. Mm.
And Lupercala, or Lupercalia rather, in February, the day of the wolf. Again, you will understand this on the ecliptic. Why do they celebrate this day of the wolf in February, going up to March? Because it's the wolf is Aries. It's the Lamb of God. Where the lamb is the wolf, and so it's pointing to that day. Lupercalia, again, there's a painting of it. Lupus is the wolf. More Lupercalia. And then you come to St. Valentine's Day in
February 14th.
February, whoops. Here we go.
Saint Valentine. I always found that.
St. Valentine's Day, 14th of Feb. St. Patrick's Day. Remember we looked at Saturnalia that started on the 17th of December. 3 months later, you've got 17th of March. Look at Osiris. He's green. Look at him. And what color is St. Patrick?
That's right.
It's always
exactly.
green.
St. Patrick. It's all green, guys. It's all Osiris. It's all the sun. There's nothing but the sun. Folks, there's nothing but the sun and the ecliptic. Nothing. Nothing. There's only one story. It's the sun on the ecliptic. Pay attention to it, and you won't miss out. That's it.
That's great.
We did it.
Wow. Beautiful.
That's
Thank you.
No, great. Santos, that was a nice presentation. We're going to do another one next week on something else. We'll get in touch during the week. We'll for sure find something. There's so much to talk about, so much things to say, so much things to share together. So, no, for sure.
Yeah, so there's your calendar, brother. The calendar's all right as it is. Don't let people scare you from the calendar. There will be people saying, oh, we need the moon calendar. The sun calendar is sun worship. It's from the devil. Oh, I've got this idea and I've got this opinion up my bum, and I've got lots of flatulence and blah blah blah. Don't pay attention to that stinky flatulence, folks. Everything's on the ecliptic. Everything's okay as it is. Pay attention to the ecliptic. Syncretize all things. Be a syncretist. Be intelligent. Be a spiritualist. Leave these poor people behind. Who knows what is going to become of them? Who knows where their destiny will take them? It's sad, and it's probably a very horrible place where they're going. They have a low vibration. They've been controlled. They've been manipulated. And
you know what? That's not where we're going. So.
No, I'm glad I'm on the ship that isn't sinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, guys, that was a pleasure again. So we'll see each other again next week. So
thank you so much, brothers.
Salute, and I'm out, and we're out.
Haribol.
Bless up.
Bye.
Bless up. Bless up.
Hi. How are you?
Okay, we're done. We're done. Hey, that was very, 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 very interesting from Santos for sure. I always like his presentation. That's so inspiring all the time. Like, no,
you're still live. You know, you're still live.
I know.
Okay.
I'm looking at the button. I don't know why it's not stopping. I don't know.
I really got a lot out of when he showed the ecliptic because I've never seen the ecliptic.